So here are 10 things you need to know before you move to Baton Rouge. Hey everyone, it's Brandon Browning here, your local real estate expert. If you're watching this video and you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in the greater Baton Rouge area, my wife and I would be honored if you would consider allowing us to serve you throughout that process. And if you want more information on us, just look down in the description below this video and you can click on a link that will take you to our review page where you can read what some of our past clients have said about us. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about 10 things you need to know about Baton Rouge. Now I could come up with 20, 30 things, but for the sake of time, and this is not in any certain order, but I'm going to talk about the food, the cost of living, some entertainment, the traffic, some attractions and things like that, just to help give you a basic knowledge of some things before you get here. I also cover a wide range of topics on this YouTube channel, like where are the top schools, maybe some top restaurants. I have an in-depth video on the cost of living. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and also click that little bell so you'll be notified when I release my next video. Now let's dive off into the 10 things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is a little bit of history on Baton Rouge. Where did Baton Rouge get its name from? So Baton Rouge got its name from a French explorer by the name of Iberville. And around 1699, Iberville was traveling up the Mississippi River and he saw a red stick. Now there's a couple of different stories on this. One story that I read said that this red stick was actually a stick covered in blood. Another story that I read stated that it was a cypress tree that was stripped of its bark. So if you happen to know what exactly is factual, I would appreciate it if you would comment down below and let us all know. But either way it goes, Baton Rouge is French for red stick. And this red stick apparently marked the boundaries of hunting grounds between two different tribes. So that's some quick historical information about Baton Rouge and where its name came from. So the second thing we're going to talk about is the weather. Now in the summertime, Baton Rouge and South Louisiana rather can get extremely hot and extremely humid. The consistent temperatures in the summertime is in the upper 90s, and with the humidity it feels like it's in the hundreds. So if you don't like hot weather, this may not be the best place for you. Now when we move on into the winter months, that's when things can get rather unpredictable. You can literally walk out of your home bundled up in coats and thermal underwear and it be in the 30s, and then by lunchtime be in a shorts and t-shirt and it be in the 70s. So it can be very frustrating at times. So ladies, I wouldn't recommend packing up your summer clothes in the winter time if you're going to live in South Louisiana. So the third thing we're going to talk about is the Baton Rouge metro area. You really want to know what that is. Now the metro area includes other small cities and towns that are outside the city of Baton Rouge, or maybe even outside the parish of East Baton Rouge. A lot of people will reside in Watson, Denham Springs, Walker, Prairieville, Gonzales, which are popular areas where people may reside and commute into Baton Rouge for work. And there are many reasons why they may do this, and just to name a few, it may be because the housing's cheaper, maybe they like the schools better, or the rural atmosphere, and a few other reasons. But there's a lot of people that like to reside, live, work, and retire in Baton Rouge. So you really have a lot of options if you are moving to this area. And that's something you want to know about and you'll probably have questions about. So just give me a call and I can kind of guide you throughout that process and explain the different areas. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is the traffic. The traffic in Baton Rouge is heavy and you should expect to be in it. But there are some tricks you can learn to help save you a lot of time as you travel throughout the city. Several years ago, I worked for Baton Rouge City Police and I had to learn all the side streets and cut-throughs to help me get around that traffic and get to my destination faster. And I learned very quickly that there were a lot of options and a lot of ways to get around that traffic, but that also depends on where you're trying to go. So if you live in the neighboring parish of Livingston or Ascension, or maybe you're traveling across the Mississippi River Bridge into West Baton Rouge, there just may not be a way to avoid that heavy traffic. So again, if you get here and you want to learn some of them side streets and cut-throughs, feel free to give me a call and I'll be glad to help you. The fifth thing we're going to talk about is the food. Now this is one of the best things about living in South Louisiana, because honestly I think we have some of the best food in the country. And that can be a blessing or a curse. It just kind of depends on how you want to look at it. But just a couple of cool fun facts to share with you. If you've ever heard of Raising Cane's, Baton Rouge is the birthplace of Raising Cane's, or maybe Walk-On's Bistro and Bar, who also began here. Both of these restaurants have branched out across the US and both of them have phenomenal food. So you may want to make those two some of your first couple of stops when you get here. Now I can name probably 50 more, but just to name a few, I would try Louisiana Lagniappe, Haran Seafood, The Chimes, and Duke Seafood and Steakhouse. But again, I can give you a ton of recommendations. So if you want more of those when you get here, just give me a call and I can definitely share a lot more with you. Before we move away from the food, when you get here, you have have to try the bull crawfish. Now this is a South Louisiana favorite and extremely popular. Now bull crawfish is kind of a seasonal thing. It usually starts around the end of January and it will peak in March, April, and May. There are several restaurants that you can go to if you want to try some of this crawfish, but I highly recommend you call me and get some recommendations before you just go out and find it on your own. So again, this is an absolute must, unless of course you're allergic to shellfish. Then you'll absolutely want to stay away from it. The sixth thing we're going to talk about is the cost of living. Now I'm going to touch on this topic very broadly, but I did do an in-depth video on the cost of living here on this YouTube channel. So if you want to know more details about this, just find that video after this one's over. So according to bestplaces.net, the cost of living in Baton Rouge is cheaper than the US average. And there are several different categories that they kind of give a score on. And the only category that we were above the national average was the cost of transportation, which includes gas, car insurance, maintenance on your vehicles, and expenses like that. But again, in every other category, we were cheaper than the national average. Moving on to number 7, we're going to talk about some of the entertainment. So Baton Rouge has a really large main event venue called the Raising Cane Center in downtown Baton Rouge, right by the Mississippi River. This is where you'll have concerts and shows and all different types of events. Now you also have all these different types of festivals, which include the Blues Festival, Spanish Town Mardi Gras Parade, St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Louisiana International Film Festival, tons of arts and craft shows, and they also have a parade specifically for dogs, which is put on by the Capital Area Animal Welfare Society, and that's put on every year around Mardi Gras. So if you're a dog lover, you definitely want to check that out, and I'll put a link down below this video that will actually show you a lot more events just in case you're curious. The 8th thing that we're going to talk about is the Uss Kidd. Now the Uss Kidd is a battleship that sits on the Mississippi River right there in downtown Baton Rouge. This ship was named after Admiral Isaac Campbell Kidd, who was killed on the Arizona during the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. This ship has been used for several different movies over the last few decades, as well as some historical documentaries. This is a great place to visit and also do things like birthday parties, overnight camping, private events and parties, and things like that if you like to do some things outside the box. So I would absolutely put visiting this ship on the to-do list once you get here and get settled. And I'll put a link down below in the description where you can actually go and tour the ship virtually. The 9th thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the Lsu Tigers. The first thing I want you to know here is when it comes to the Tigers, we don't spell go, G-O. We spell it G-E-A-U-X, and that's just the French spelling of go. The other thing I want you to know is college football is talked about all year round here. The people here are extra passionate about their Tigers. So when you get here, I highly recommend, no matter what age you are, going to a football game on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. This is something that you have to experience. Also, if tailgating's your thing, you definitely want to go check out the tailgating scene at Tiger Stadium, which this usually starts well before Saturday, and you can go find some phenomenal food, some good music, and just a safe atmosphere where everybody's in a good mood. So if you want to strike up a conversation when you get here, just look at somebody and say, how about them Tigers? And one more thing before we leave this topic, if you want to catch up on LSU sports in general or the Saints, definitely go check out Matt Moscona. This way you can get a quick download on what's being talked about down here in South Louisiana regarding our sports. And number 10 is going to be who you need to call when you get here or before you get here. So obviously this video only covered a few topics and was very brief. So I'm sure you have a lot more questions and you will need a lot of guidance. And perhaps you'll need a realtor to help find you a home. So my wife Desiree and I are a real estate team here in the greater Baton Rouge area. So if there's anything that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach me on my personal cell at 225-445-0629. You can email me at bbrowning225@gmail.com, and we would be happy to connect with you, answer any questions that you may have. If we don't know the answer, we can definitely find the answer for you. So we'll do whatever we can to meet your needs. So again, if you're looking for more information, please check out this YouTube channel where you will find several more helpful videos. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click that little bell so you'll be notified when I release my next one. So thank you so much for watching and be blessed.